Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Let's talk about Scooby-Doo. Created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, aka Hanna-Barbera, back in 1969, the OG cartoon about mystery-solving, meddling kids and their talking mangy dog is certainly one for the ages. A staple of many childhoods across multiple generations, it has since lived on in countless spin-offs, live-action movies, both theatrical and straight-to-TV, animated movies, and even gritty comic books. Yeah, I can safely say that I'm a fan of Scooby-Doo. I remember as a kid, there was a good stretch of a few months where I was just obsessively watching it. I doubt I've seen every single episode, but I am well acquainted with it. I was definitely a fan of a pup named Scooby-Doo back in the day.
So come on, it's mystery time. You can't help but solve the crime. A pup named Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Scooby-Doo.
I've only seen the first live-action movie, which suits me fine because it wasn't very good, unless we're talking about how Linda Cardellini somehow made Velma hotter than Daphne.
Who's your mommy?
Personally, I prefer the animated movies, my two favorites being Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
It's the gardener.
No.
It's the fisherman. No. Maybe it's real.
And The Witch's Ghost.
This town shall pay for what it did to me!
Why gets every coward brings up our money?
The latter being what started my two loves of goth women
I'm gonna cast a spell on you. You're gonna do what I want you to.
and Jennifer Hale. Yeah, that was more Mass Effect, I guess, but you know what? She voiced Thorn from the Hex Girls, and that still counts, damn it. You know, the more I think about it, Scooby-Doo is quite the kindler for future proclivities. I've maybe seen a few episodes of What's New Scooby-Doo, but definitely dropped off the bandwagon around that time. But I still fondly remember the original show and hold it pretty close to my heart as a show that any kid should watch, including the animated movies of the 90s. But it appears that the big screen kinda isn't done with the Scooby-Doo franchise, and we're getting a brand spanking new animated film. Before going into this, I was skeptical. I just don't remember Scooby talking this much. In the original cartoon, it was just single words or very small sentences, mostly relying on big movements, noises, and expressions. It's really jarring to see him talking like an actual person, contributing to conversations. And of course, I have to groan at the fact that this is actually a Kickstarter to a shared universe with other Hanna-Barbera properties, because of course it has to be. Of course. Everything under the sun has to be a shared goddamn universe. You know, I love the Avengers as much as the next guy. I love it more than I love most things, but I hate what it's influenced. And also, I miss masked villains. Ever since Zombie Island, it's like every single Scooby-Doo property has to showcase real monsters in some way, shape, or form. Again, I love Zombie Island more than I love most things, but I hate what it's influenced. But quarantine has been pushed to July, in California anyway. So, what else am I going to do? How did the movie hold up? Is it as bad as I thought it was? Well, this is my honest opinion of Scoob. As kids, Norville Shaggy Rogers was a lonely kid until he met the accidental, trouble-prone pup that he would name Scooby-Dooby-Doo, voiced by Frank Welker, and the two would form an instant friendship. Not long after, they would befriend fellow kids Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, and Velma Dinkley, discover their aptitude for uncovering mysteries, and would stick to their trade for years to come. In the present day, Mystery Inc. wants to push their brand with the help of Simon Cowell, voiced by himself. However, he says that Shaggy, voiced by Will Forte, and Scooby aren't great looks for the gang. Believing that they see the writing on the wall, Shaggy and Scooby leave the group. However, it turns out that they're being hunted by vicious robots under the command of the villainous Dick Dastardly, voiced by Jason Isaacs, but are saved by their favorite superheroes Blue Falcon, voiced by Mark Wahlberg, and Dino Mutt, voiced by Ken Jeong. Together they solve the mystery as to why Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are so important to Dick. I don't think I did a great job of explaining this movie. Or maybe it was pitch perfect. I don't know. What I will say is this. It's better than I thought it would be, but no. I don't think it's good, and I don't think it works. Let's start easy with the positives. The humor and charm. While most of the jokes don't land, there are a few gags and moments that admittedly got me. I really appreciated how they did the classic Scooby-Doo opening, doing a rather remarkable update. Except for this. I don't know what the hell that was. But for the most part, the faithful visuals brought me right back to my childhood. I appreciated it when Addams Family did it for the end credits. I appreciate it here. The animation is certainly nice, of course, colorful, vibrant, energized, so I doubt that kids will be bored by it. Wahlberg as Blue Falcon certainly had his bumbling charm as a superhero who didn't really seem like he wants to be one. No Falcon around, just Falcon around. Aight, you got me with those. Holy God, I've finally seen a movie with Zhang that didn't annoy the ever-loving crap out of me. And I did enjoy this bit that references Hong Kong Phooey and my girls, the Hex Girls. And those are just the ones that I caught. And also there's this one joke that got me so well that I had to pause the movie in order to get all the laughter out of me. How do you know so much about superheroes and nothing about the metric system? Because I am an American man. I mean, fact. I'm only laughing because crying about the pain of how truthful that statement is would just hurt too much. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my favorite element in the movie that consistently kept me happy, Dick Dastardly. My God, Jason Isaacs has some of the most iconic cinematic roles under his belt, and I will fight anyone who disagrees that Dick Dastardly isn't among them now. The best times that I had with this movie were when the camera was on him. He's so menacing, and there's even a scene where he rips the head off of one of his cute robotic baby henchman things. It's kind of horrifying. Hilarious for how much fun he's having while doing it, but that's imagery that would haunt an adult. And I love it. The movie could have been just about him, and I would have been 100% satisfied. But therein kind of lying my issues. I mean, I'll rave about my biggest problems with the movie later, but let's keep it small. Let's keep my negatives small-ish for now. First off, I was right. Scooby talks way too much in this. I was never able to get past it. I keep looking back on the show, and Scooby just never spoke entire sentences. Noises, 1 word, 2 to 3 word sentences, max. And do you know why they did that? Because Scooby's voice talking like a person would get grating. There was comedy and charm in seeing the gang interpret Scooby's words and Scooby miming his actions to get his sentences across. Not direct contributions to the conversations. That's never what Scooby did. I love Frank Welker. He's a living legend of voice acting, and I'm sure that he was only doing what he was hired to do. But Scooby's voice got on my nerves. The same goes for Will Forte as Shaggy. He's just not a very good Shaggy impersonator. I've seen YouTube stars that do a better Shaggy than him. I don't think it ruins the movie per se. There's already so little that meets its already low expectations, but it doesn't help. And there's more than a few moments that kind of made me uncomfortable. What's with Fred's horny streak? For his car? Speaking of horny, you know, Hollywood, it's perfectly possible to give Christina Hendricks a role that isn't the hot character. Is Good Girls any good? Please, God, tell me yes. Do you know how many times I made connections to other bad movies? Too many. There's a robot character that's got a mad crush on Daphne. Reminded me of another hot woman with a robot that had a fetish for human women. Any movie that makes me think about Transformers 2 is not a good movie. But the most prominent connection that I can think of was this. Yeah. If you really think about it, Scoob functions in the exact same way as the Mummy did for the Dark Universe, spending most of its runtime letting you know that this is a cinematic universe rather than what it's supposed to be advertised as being. Throwing in the likes of Blue Falcon and Dynomutt, Captain Caveman, Dick Dastardly, even the end credits randomly references Jabberjaw, but do you see the problem here? It's not a Scooby-Doo movie. A Scooby-Doo movie implies the gang being together and solving the mysteries that end in unmasking a man dressed as a monster. Despite the friendships being built in the beginning, Shaggy and Scooby are completely absent from the rest of Mystery Inc. Fred, Daphne, and Velma are essentially support characters rather than being an equal protagonist group like a Scooby-Doo property. Why are Blue Falcon and Dick Dastardly the best characters in a Scooby-Doo movie? Okay, incoming rage rant. Hollywood, you need to stop with the cinematic universes. I know, you want a slice, a nice, healthy slice of that Avengers multi-billion-dollar pie. But you want to know something? There is a reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe works so well. They spent years crafting individual stories that would ultimately culminate into the epic crossovers, each one having something of creative value. Be it the visuals, the characters, the action, the stories, there is a ton that has to be respected about the MCU. No, not all of them were great, but 12 years and 20 plus movies later, no one was expecting a miracle. But why has no one learned from past mistakes? Warner Brothers only has to look at the Conjuring universe, Universal's Dark Universe, even their own DC Extended Universe to know how jumping into a shared universe is a recipe for failure. They did well with their DC Animated Universe, admittedly, and are apparently starting a new one with Superman Man of Tomorrow. But there you have it. They can make a series with solo and crossover stories very well. You just have to take your time with it. But they're not with Scoob, and I can just tell that this future franchise isn't going to be an exception. Overall, sure, there are a few things in this movie that I really enjoyed, and I will bear that in mind in my final score. I love Dick Dastardly, and I did laugh a lot more than I thought I would. But none of that changes that this isn't a Scooby-Doo movie. It's a commercial meant to promote a future cinematic universe that no one is asking for and isn't even well-deserved right now. I say, save your money, save your time, and just watch like a marathon of old Scooby-Doo cartoons or even the 90s animated movies. I think you'll get more out of those than this. My honest rating for Scoob, a week 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.